And we are live. We are live. This is your boy, Mr. OKL, coming back at you again. Introduce yourself, my boy.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Killer Kawabo. Hope y'all doing well today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, me and Killer Kawaba, we are the hosts of what used to be called MGTOW Mondays, where we teach men how to operate in reality. Speaking of operating in reality, we changed the name to Men Operating in Reality, brought to
Mm-hmm.
you by Killer Kawabo. So
Yes, sir.
that's something I appreciate him for. Now, y'all see the title of today's show. It's called Did Vivica A. Fox Get It Wrong? Like Kevin Samuels always says to modern women, right? And that's a significant question. Did Vivica A. Fox get it wrong? Like Kevin Samuels always says to modern women. It's significant to me, Killer Kawabo, because um, uh, we're going to look at a few videos of,
Yeah.
some of the things that she's going through, some of the things she says, and how her lifestyle is going. But I more so want to talk to the men here. See,
Mm,
and some of the women that listen too. Kevin Samuels have always had a conducive message. I don't give a
right.
damn about his tone. Men don't care about the tone. We care about what's real.
Exactly.
As a
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, yesterday I had a meeting with one of my partners, and we had a whole hour talk. And he was telling me some of my strengths and some of my weaknesses in my business. He was aggressive with it too. Did I sit back and cry and say, "Oh, the tone that you're speaking to me, it's good." No, I didn't give a shit. I actually extrapolated what he said, and that's actually helping me in my day-to-day business right now. Okay, so how men communicate, we can talk to each other aggressively, and as long as we keeping it real, ain't no
Mm-hmm.
problems there.
Exactly.
So when I asked that question, Mr. Good, not so I'm sorry, Killer Kawabo, did Vivica A. Fox get it wrong like Kevin Samuels always says to modern women? What do you think?
Oh yeah, she definitely got it wrong. Cause first of all, she is single. I don't know if she don't. I don't think she has any children.
Nope,
Uh, no children. So if she dies tomorrow, she's definitely dying alone. Um,
absolutely.
Yeah, and she's teaching these modern women how to pretty much fail in life. Like I said, she used to be a 304. If you guys know her history, she used to date 50 Cent, and
hmm
she was what? Wasn't she older than 50 Cent too?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, she's older than
Yeah.
50 Cent. 50 Cent
Mm-hmm.
is younger than her.
Yeah. So she dated a younger dude who was at the time, we know 50 Cent is a good business mogul, but at the time, he had just come out, he had just came out, he had just, bragging about being shot 9 times and everything. He was a
Let,
thug at the time.
just keep it real with her. She something like Jada. She fell in love with a Pookie. Like let's
Yep.
just keep it all the way honest. This is what
Yep.
a lot of modern women do.
Mm-hmm.
The Pookie
And
boys don't have their heart.
exactly. And now she is alone, trying to tell women how to live because so okay, she makes money, that's cool. But at the end of the day, she the main one that Kevin Samuels was talking about.
Uh-huh.
For real.
That's the fact. So, guys, we're gonna get right into it. Killer, me and you are gonna look at some videos. We're gonna talk to the people, and we're gonna bring some context to exactly what not only what we teach, what we say, what we
Mhm.
break down, but also what a lot of content creators, especially Kevin Samuels, talks about on a
Right.
day-to-day basis. Anytime you want me to cut the video, go ahead and do so. Let me know.
All
Let's
right.
get right on into it. So this
Let's
is
do it.
going to be the video where she goes on her little rant about Kevin Samuels after he died.
This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent.
I, I had to stop it. She said
Yeah.
she didn't find anything about this guy to be healing. But why did she find something in 50 Cent to be healing?
Right.
I just want to know that. And
And then
and
you can tell
I'm gonna put it in context in a few for y'all. Go ahead, kill it.
I was gonna say you can tell she never watched a Kevin Samuels video because he didn't insult African American women on a consistent basis. He was talking about men and women. A lot of women that called in were African Americans, so obviously he's going to be correcting them. But he didn't
Right,
talk about men as he didn't talk about men as well. So that's what these women that are mad at Kevin Samuels don't realize. He was talking about both sexes and how we can
right.
both improve,
And and,
but they just
and it
focused
go
on the negative.
and it goes to show you what I was talking about before, Killer. The man was talking to men the same exact way
Mm-hmm.
for a plethora of years before he even got on the woman like how he got on them in the amount of time he did. No
Yep.
one batted an eye. No one said anything. As a matter of fact, the men reciprocated it more. Men grew
Mm-hmm.
from that. Men started getting
Exactly.
higher value, et cetera, et cetera. But as soon as he starts talking about women and bringing out their truths, this is what you get right here.
Yep.
Basis, healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that
You know what's insulting to African American women? A black man's tone. That's what she's trying to
Yeah.
say here.
Yep.
It's insulting when a black man is strong and he's trying to put down his foot so that his woman can at least give him some type of reciprocation when it comes to the natural order of how we're supposed to be together.
Right.
Okay? I want y'all to pay attention to that. It ain't about him insulting the woman, it's about him keeping it real, and it's about the tone that he had.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said,
That's not true. He did not insult African American women on a consistent basis. Number one, and
Yeah.
let's move into it. He spoke about modern women. As a matter of fact, I seen a live where he said it's not just African American women. This is just a modern woman in general now.
Mm-hmm. And important going back to what you're talking about, no healing. Even he himself said there's people online that themselves said that they when they listened to Kevin Samuels, they was able to find a husband and a wife. So they was able. So he was bringing black people together. He
Hmm.
actually had evidence of actually helping couples get together and get married. So
Right.
the fact that she's talking about it was no healing. It means she didn't do her research. All she doing just talking out of the side of her butt. You know what I'm saying?
I take it a step further. She never healed. That's why she's saying it like that.
Yep, exactly.
I take it a
Yep.
step further.
on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out.
Now, I want to extrapolate something. He didn't say you're no good and disposable. He said his main thing is that you hit the wall and you're in the danger zone.
Yep.
So let's go into that. All right, let's go into that. If I'm at the beach, Killer Kawabo, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
having fun at the beach. I'm with the family. I swim on the shore, and then I start going deeper and deeper and deeper. Right? The
Right.
deeper I go, the more dangerous it is for me
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get inside that ocean. Correct? So
Mm-hmm.
if I have a lifeguard telling me, blowing the whistle and saying, "Hey, look, man, you don't need get your ass back over here," because he
Yeah.
understands that's where the sharks are roaming at. That's where the stingrays, and you know what I'm saying, and that's where people drown at. Why is it that because that lifeguard is alert, his tone is so aggressive, and he's trying to get you to safety? Why is that so demeaning for women today? You get the concept I'm trying to say here. That's what
Yeah.
she's trying to break
Mm-hmm.
down here.
And what's funny is the reason why she's saying all this, like karma and all that stuff, is because Kevin Samuels was talking about her. Like, whenever a woman gets defensive and all that, she's gonna. Whenever a woman whenever a woman knows that you're talking about her, she gets defensive, and then she wants to be like insulting, shaming, talking about karma, whatever the hell was she trying to say. Because women that are actually submissive and women that are actually women, they will actually take that and take that criticism, no matter what the tone is, and try to improve themselves. so
That's
they
that.
can mold themselves for that husband or for that man that they respect or whatnot. But these black women, they don't respect black men. So when this black man is telling her what we actually want, and it doesn't matter, like you said, it doesn't matter the tone because he's trying to actually save these women. They want to get insulted because they know that what he said about the danger zone and all about women at over 35, he said it's true because that's what these women are experiencing. And now that he's gone, again, they think like, oh, whatever, all that thing is what Kevin Samuels said. So now they think
Right,
there's free Wayne to talk about Kevin Samuels.
right. They feel like, okay, now that he's dead, like put it like this. Let's continue the video real quick. Let's
Yeah.
continue.
American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, you know, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind.
AKA, and then she says AKA, what she's saying is, anytime you talk about a black woman, then something bad can happen to you. We see that all the time in the pro-black community. As soon as a black man tries to expose how the black woman is, come on, brother, you can't say that. That's the queen mother goddess.
Right.
Your mama black, your grandmama black,
Yep.
this and that. That's what they try to hit you with as if you ain't giving facts.
Exactly.
So what karma is she talking about exactly? Guys, what she's saying is anytime you talk down on a black woman's derogatory nature, anytime you expose it and put it on Front Street for the world, then you have consequences to deal with. I need y'all to pay attention closely to what she's saying here.
Mm-hmm.
That when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality. Rest in peace.
Man,
What
pause
the
it
hell
real
does
quick,
the
man. Pause it real
nationality
quick,
got to
yo.
do with anything?
The way that she acts all smug and shit is what trips me out. Like she's smiling when she was like karma, she all smiling, and he's like,
Right.
yet don't know the nationality because again, like how you said, he tried to put her on Front Street. He put the problems of black women on Front Street, and because he did it in an entertaining way, and actually, you know, his tone was being serious with them, like treating them like, yo, you acting like a child. Because let's be honest, most black women act like children, so you
It's a
got to talk
fact.
to them sometimes like children, and that's what Kevin Samuels did. And these women, now that he put it down on Front Street and everything like that, and you know, since he passed away, now these women acting smug, like, oh, when you like you said, he talked about them, and now it's like, oh, now he's dead because it's revenge for what he was doing, insulting
Yeah.
black women or whatever.
Yeah, they're basically making it seem like it's a divine thing, like
Exactly.
it's prophecy. Like if this happens to the black
Hmm.
woman, then God is going to come and step in, and this is godly or this is a divine thing when actually it's not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Because if that was the case, there'd be a lot more dead men like that. Because there's a lot more men that talk way worse about black women than Kevin Samuels did. He
Hmm.
was nice compared to like a lot of shoot. He's nicer than me compared to talking about black women. So it's
Come on, man.
like, like where's my karma? You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here with that. It's ridiculous. It's something that women like. It's a defense mechanism that women like to use in order to stay being delusional and to stay continuing doing their BS. It's something. It's a defense mechanism that they like to use in order to
Hmm.
big up the womanhood and feel like they're right all the time.
Right. So I want to give a little background on Vivica Fox. Now, she actually fits the perfect category of modern woman. Okay. One of the things that Kevin Samuels and other people teach that are in the manosphere or red pill community or just whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to use reference words. It
Right.
teaches that women can't date down. Okay. Vivica A. Fox had a ex-husband named Christopher Harvest. Now, this guy didn't have the money that she wanted, et cetera, et cetera. 6'9", I believe, 6'8", or whatever the case is. He approached her. He was able to snatch her up. Um, Within 4 months of them knowing each other, she moved him in to her crib. All right. She moved him into her house
Mm-hmm.
or wherever she lived at. And then within that year, he proposed to her. Now, the marriage was okay. She had no problem. But the thing is, she couldn't date down. Women can't date down. Modern women can't date down. This is one of the
Mm-hmm.
things Kevin Samuels said. Modern women are too strong and independent today. So the fact is, she was already an actor. She already brought him into the house. She already expected him to be ambitious, which is to say that she wants to meet her at him at her level or higher. Okay, and I guess he couldn't do that. I mean, that's where you met the guy. So the thing is this: she couldn't keep the guy because she knew that wasn't the guy she wanted.
Yep.
So what happened was uh, she filed for divorce. She definitely didn't trash his name or anything like that. As a matter of fact, she paid for an apartment for him for a whole year and put 50,000 in his bank account. I don't know, guys. Maybe it was because of alimony reasons. We don't know. We I gotta still extrapolate that.
Yeah.
But this is what happened with that prior guy she married. Okay, she married that guy, and as we know, modern women cannot date down. They cannot be strong and independent
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
And it's
And, go ahead, Killer.
I was gonna say it's funny too, like cause I say to a lot of men, like don't listen to what women are talking about. When they talking about I'm gonna love you forever, I'll be there for you no matter what. I love you for the rest of my life. All that is cap. Like so what's the vows for better for poor for or was it for richer for poor for sickness
For
and the
better or
health?
for worse, yeah, through
Mm-hmm.
sickness and health.
But the moment the woman is not happy, it's I want a divorce. I'm not happy. We grew apart. What's the other excuse? I just didn't feel like paying all the rent. I need somebody that makes more money. All these type of excuses.
Right.
That's why whatever a woman. That's why you got to pay attention to what a woman does instead of what a woman says, because what a woman says is cap, complete cap. If she says she
Point
loves
blank.
you, you're lying.
So let's look at this then, Killer. We're gonna react to 50 Cent, okay? And as we do know, her and 50 Cent had relations.
Hmm.
Definitely had relations. So I'm gonna
Oh
let
yeah.
her say it out her mouth later. I ain't even finna spill the beans. Let's go.
All right.
NAACP award for power and
Mm.
stuff like that. Hey, best drama. Got that going. Well, I wanted to talk to y'all because I look in the comments and shit like that. The Vivica Fox shit, you look, and the girls will be like, oh, you must have some bomb dick, or you must be like this, like. Look, first of all, not after 14 years. No, not after 14 years.
Right.
Okay, because
All right, so let me give y'all some context just in case y'all don't know what 50's talking about right now. At a point, Vivica Fox had wrote a book about 50 Cent and their sex life and how obsessed she was about it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, these 50 Cent and her they started dating in 2003, all right? 14 years later, that's about what, Killer? That's freaking,
I was
like
like
2019 or something,
2017, I think.
2018, 2017,
Something like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. So, that's when she wrote the book. That's when she started going on Vlad and doing all these interviews talking about 50 Cent. Okay,
That's
so
crazy.
just to give y'all a little bit context.
and the girls will be like, oh, you must have some bomb dick, or you must be like this, like. Look, first of all, not after 14 years. No, not after 14 years. Okay, because
Mhm.
if a nigga showed up talking about you had some bomb ass pussy after 14 years, 14 years, you would have called the
For
police on the
real.
nigga.
Mhm.
Called your brothers and told your brothers to jump the nigga.
Exactly.
Told
Yep.
your man, go on downstairs, get that. He downstairs. I don't know what he's doing down there.
Right. So basically, 50 Cent peep game. What he say? He basically said if a man was to write a book about a woman that he was having sex with 14 years ago, talking about this was some bomb ass pussy, we would look at that guy like he's a lunatic, like he's a creep,
Exactly.
like he's some type of
Obsessive.
fucking weirdo. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But Vivica Fox did that. So 50 Cent is expressing that's what she did. They had dealings back in 03, 04, maybe 05. And then now here comes 2017. And now she writing a whole book about 50 Cent. We seen the same shit, Killer, and Jada, how she's talking
Mm-hmm.
about Tupac after her marriage. It's this, these modern women do the same shit.
And it's funny too because it looks like that's 304 behavior. It seems like every 304 wants to make a book, an expose about their sex life, about the one guy that they, or either the multiple guys they had sex with, trying
Uh-huh.
to expose dudes, or that one guy that really captured their heart, no matter who they with now, even if they're married to a perfect dude. That one guy that was the love of their life. They love to make some type of book expose, some interview, something. It's always that's always
It's
seems like
crazy.
the 304 behavior. Like look at Megan Thee Stallion talking about with Tory Lanez. Now she's going on doing interviews and stuff like that, talking about her situation.
You know what time it
304
is. You know what.
behavior.
Right. Shout out to Mr. Goodbread in the motherfucking
What's
building.
up,
He
Mr.
says salute
Goodbread?
to the fellas. Shout out to Deacon Dave in the motherfucking
What's
building.
going on, what's
Go
going
ahead and
on, Deacon
slap
Dave?
deuce to us. That's what the fuck we talking about. If y'all haven't done so, hit that like button. Cause we cooking for y'all today. Let's continue though.
All of this shit for no reason. You'd have been into all of this crazy shit, but the girls act like it ain't nothing when they do some shit like that. But if a guy do something like that, come on, you know what time it is. You were looking like something wrong with him, right? After 14 years.
For real.
After 14 years, and this was the tweet he put, y'all. Vivica Fox writes about the sex life with 50 Cent, right? So he puts a tweet out. I'm waking up to this shit. That was 14 years ago. Shaking my head. Who does this?
You're right.
And nobody bats an eye when women are mediocre.
hmm
14 years ago, you fucking this guy. You done hit the wall, put all that makeup on, put all that surgery on. Nobody wants you. Kevin Samuels was right. You are a leftover woman, something like the Chinese women that are 35 or 30 and older. That's who you are. And now you want to come back and say, hey, big head, to a guy that's younger than you.
Yep.
I'm telling you
Exactly.
that's exactly what's going on. Now this is a hey,
Exactly.
big head situation.
It really is because like you said, she wrote a book 14 years later talking about their sex life or whatever. She really was in love with this guy, and that was the last love of her life because nobody else wanted to take her after that.
Right. And what does her and Jada have in common? Married to one guy that they fell in love with, don't want him no more,
hmm
but always have a strong urge for that pookie that don't want their ass.
Yep.
Always have a strong urge for that pookie. Okay. So we got another video to show y'all because I kind of wanted to extrapolate a little bit more for you guys. Uh, I don't like the fact that Vivica Fox waited until Kevin Samuels passed away for her to
hmm
pull out her rhetoric,
Exactly.
for her to pull out her damn rhetoric. She did an interview on Vlad TV, okay? And we're going to watch this all the way through really quickly. Stop me at any time. You know what time it is, Killer.
Word.
We're going to watch this video she did on Vlad TV talking about 50 Cent, talking about just certain things in her damn life. Typical modern woman shit.
Well, then right around that time, that's when you and 50 Cent became a thing.
Yes.
Okay. So then how did you guys initially meet?
We met after he said the thing to Soul Train at the Soul Train Music Awards, and I want to thank Vivica Fox for wearing that dress, which I was shocked. I mean, I don't know if you go back and see my reaction. I was just kind of like, wow. And then after that, his people got in touch.
Yeah, there was a Soul Train Awards and 50 Cent. I got an award, and I believe like the last 2 minutes, he was thanking everybody, thanking God for the award, and he also said, "I want to thank Vivica Fox for wearing that dress today." Basically, shooting his shot. So he shot his shot at her.
Which I was shocked. I mean, I don't know if you go back and see my reaction. I was just kind of like, wow.
Pause it real quick. Pause it.
And then after that, his people got in touch.
It's funny that she say that, and it's funny that she remember that too, because I think we established earlier she was older than 50. So her like being old, I don't know how old she was at that time. I don't remember how old she was at the time, but her being older, she was probably hitting the wall already. So her probably she probably was decreased, and I think at the time she wasn't really doing too many movies around the thousand. I think around the thousand she kind of slowed down doing
Hmm.
movies too. So
Keep
the
it. Keep
fact
in
that
mind. Keep in mind. She was married and divorced. Married for
oh
4 years
yeah,
and divorced.
and she was married and divorced. So the suitors, all the suitors, all her jobs was going down. So when 50 Cent said that, that was something he was like, oh my God, I'm still getting attention. You know what I'm saying? People actually still, like Mr. Goodbread said right there, the attention rush. She was getting that attention. Oh my gosh. So when 50 Cent said that, she was like, oh, I gotta talk with this guy. That's why she was interested in him, because he showed her that attention first, and she didn't expect that. And with that attention rush, she was like, "Oh, I gotta see what this dude's." But she was ready. Her panel was, her panel
Yep.
was ready to drop.
Facts. Ready to drop. Mr. Goodbread says she was shocked that out of all them young women in there, he said her name.
Yep.
That's a fact,
Yep.
and it also speaks to that validation. It kind of validated her, gave her some
Hmm.
status, et cetera, et cetera. So all that plays in a role. If all y'all's on point with what y'all saying.
Touch with my people, and next thing I know, we were on the phone, and my birthday was coming up, and he's such a gentleman.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but if you look inside, like at her lips and stuff, she had a lot of surgery in the past year. So she's
Yeah,
been fighting to look young. She's been
she looked
fighting to
plastic.
Yeah, she been fighting to look young. Oh yeah, you hit the wall, you got married, and what I say, ladies think that it's easy to just say, you know what, I'm gonna hit the reset button. I'm pretty, I'm cute. People want to have sex with me, so I'm gonna do this and do that, and hopefully, Mr. Right is gonna come. The grass is
Hmm.
gonna look greener on the other side. But what they don't realize is there ain't no grass on the other side. It's nothing but dirt.
Yep.
He's very generous. I know him as Curtis, always will. And the 50 Cent, those are his performing thing and who he is as a man. So I met Curtis because I remember when I first talked to him, I was like, so what do I call you? He was like, Curtis, that's my name. I said, okay, cool. But for my birthday, he filled my entire house with my favorite flowers, which were Casablancas and gardenias.
Mm.
And literally a van
Okay.
pulled up with flowers. Like they kept bringing this stuff. I was like, more? More?
Okay.
So he's very generous and very kind and a gentleman.
Don't think that there wasn't 100 men that was trying to be generous and kind to her.
Right.
Don't think for 1 second that 50 was just the only guy that was trying to shoot his shot. Don't think that for 1 second, y'all. Okay.
Well, and at the time, Get Rich or Die Trying was out.
Yes.
And it was the biggest thing in music.
Yes.
Period.
You said it earlier, ain't it, Killer? At that
Yep.
time when he shot Get Rich or Die Trying, that's when he was the biggest pookie on earth.
Yep, exactly.
Of any genre.
Yes.
The album goes diamond.
Yes.
He comes in and completely takes over the game.
Right.
And then now he's got, you connected to him. And I remember it was the VMAs.
Yes.
And you had that dress on.
Yeah.
That dress. Wow.
Yes. All that in a bag of chips.
All that.
Designed by Ren.
You see the face?
Yeah.
They always
You remember
expose
that night.
themselves.
And
You
what's
understand
so
me?
funny is another thing that really what really did was boost her status. Because she was like, oh, Vivica A. Fox was with 50 Cent. I remember thinking this too when I was younger. I was like, oh shit, 50 Cent with Vivica A. Fox. Damn, it really boosted both of their statuses. But while it boosted his status, he was already up there. It boosted her status as well because, like I said, no one was really checking for Vivica A. Fox around that time. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't really in movies. She wasn't really doing nothing. So the fact that this guy just blowing up from Getting Rich or Die Trying, making all this money, super famous, is hitting her up, that really boosted her status to the point where they still talk. She's on Vlad TV, still talking about being with 50 Cent.
Right. Okay, let's look at some of the comments, and I want to pull this one up first. Mr. Goodbread Show says 50 is not a pookie, my G. Take that back. With all due respect, I don't want to take it back.
Well,
50
he was a
50
pookie back in that.
Hold on,
Back in those
that's what I mean, and that's what I said. At that time when he was making Get Rich or Die Trying in the club, etc., I would absolutely classify him as a Pookie, Mr. Goodbread. I would absolutely classify him as that Pookie that she wanted. I'm not. I'm sorry. It's the same as Jada and Tupac, because Tupac was actually a good boy, but he portrayed Pookie, thug life, etc. And Jada was in love with that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, Goodbread. Let's get into it. But let's continue the video.
So you connected to him, and I remember it was the VMAs.
Yes.
And you had that dress on.
Yeah.
That dress. Wow.
Yes. All that in a bag of chips.
All that.
Designed by Randy Rom, who I made sure he approved it, and we coordinated our outfits.
So now you guys are a public thing.
Right.
Did that put a lot of pressure on the relationship?
Yes.
Explain.
Well, I was already Vivica Fox, from Independence Day, this and the third. And he now is becoming this huge mega rap star who is crossing over with in the club. And I was used to fame, and the main thing that what killed the relationship was that we just went way too public, way too fast. The love that I had for him, and still to this day, will always, he was the love of my life.
Now, I want to mention this too. I get it. I get it. I get it. First of all, shout out to Bobby Shane. Shout out to you. Says, man, all I know is I need a chocolate chick to rock my world. You know what I mean? I feel you, my brother. I feel you. I feel you. I get what you're saying, Bobby Shane. To each his own. To each his own, my man. To each his own.
I'm gonna blame you.
I do want to say this though. I do want to say this. 50 Cent even said this. It was publishers that were making their relationship public.
Exactly.
So when you have a strong, independent woman who has her own business, especially when she's in the entertainment industry, okay, her man doesn't call the shots. So what happened was her publishers knew that, like she just said, this was a big mega, rap star. This is 50 Cent. You guys have relations. You guys are dating. You need to make it be known. You guys need to be a public figure. That's going to boost your status, Vivica. That's going to make you look better. It's going to make you look like one of these boss couples. Men don't want that. So she tried to say the we thing, but it really wasn't the we thing. It was her.
Yep.
Her status clashed with his. Something that Kevin Samuels says time in and time out. A high value man don't want no woman who thinks she high value and she got her own shots to call. And that's really what happened if y'all really want to know what happened in that situation.
Exactly.
We got some comments. Let's read some of these comments. Good Breath says facts. Tupac was a puppet, 100%. All right, 100%. 50 Cent and Alpha Male. No, he was his own boss. Great debate though. No, I agree with you on that. Definitely. He used her and put him in an A-list light. He was a street dude. He used her, not the other way around. No, absolutely correct. I don't think she didn't win. Vivica Fox didn't win in that whole shit at all.
Definitely. She didn't win. Yeah, his status boosted more than hers. But we were saying before, like she wasn't being. Like I said at the time, like even though she was famous or whatever, no one was checking for her. So her hitting the wall and not getting any suitors, nobody paying attention to her. When 50 Cent came and said what he said, she was, oh my gosh, this guy who's a megastar loves me, likes me. Let's see what's going on. Like,
no, he did in fact use her though, man. He did, and
use her though. Yeah,
he utilized her in the right way. It was a good business move. I like what he did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's close out this video so we can get to the next one.
I will admit that without any reservations.
Facts. Hold on. Facts, bro. She ate the booty and then she tried to sit here and say 50 Cent was. I don't look. To each his own. I don't know what people like in the bedroom, but she ate his booty and she went and used that to try to expose him and say he was a homosexual.
Ah, shit.
She ate the groceries.
Oh my gosh, bruh.
She ate the groceries, man. Come on.
He will always have a very special place in my heart. But will always, like, he was the love of my life. I will admit that without any reservations. He will always have a very special place in my heart. But the reason why the relationship ended was because we just went public way too fast, had way too many people in our business. And if I was to have a chance to do it over, it would be that we stayed private a lot longer. But we got too many people in our business, and you know, that's what killed the relationship, unfortunately, because I really
And it's funny that she's saying that too, because it goes back to
Go ahead, Killer.
if you guys saw my video I just dropped today, I did a reaction to okay this video and whatnot, and y'all was talking about social media, why women should have social media. That's exactly why, what she was talking about. Everybody gonna be in your business too public. Everybody gonna have a say so. Everybody gonna try and sabotage if they want to get in between that. And that's why it's not good for a woman to be posting on social media like that. Or you as a man, especially if you're a man with some type of status, it's not good that you have a woman that's on posting on social media like that all the time. It doesn't matter what she posts. It doesn't matter what she posts.
That's a
If she's
fact.
posting frequently on social media like that, she is prone she's prone to put your business out there, and it's prone to sabotage.
100%. Let's move on to the next video. One moment.
All right.
Killer, talk to the people real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. But yeah, no, like I was saying before, but I can also say another reason why. You could tell Vivica has an attitude problem. 50 Cent did not want to combat with Vivica at all, because think about it. She's talking about that's the love of his life. If that was the love of his life, she would have stayed with him. That's why she's trying to do all this stuff, making a book, talking about the sex life, doing all these, even exposing the whole eating the thing like groceries, even exposing all that, just to shame that dude to try and just come rolling back in. And that's what these 304s do. That's what these 304s do. That happened to me. A couple of years ago when I was dealing with a 304. And dealing with her, we was doing our thing or whatever. I ended that. She wanted to go around tell everybody that I was the A word. You know what I'm saying? That I was doing that when there was no evidence of showing that. And on top of that, for the year after we broke up, she kept, every time I saw her around in the city, she kept coming to me. She kept talking to me. She kept trying to link up with me, because she did music too, trying to do music together. She would always sit next to me, trying to talk with me and whatnot, because she knew. I don't know if I was a love of her life. She never really said I was a love of her life, but she has some type of interest. She would always come up to me and be like, even though you were the A word, I did learn a lot from you and I appreciate it. I'm looking like, if I was the A word, why are you talking to me? But that's what these minor women, especially these 304s, and that's what they be doing. When they actually find a dude who's a good dude, who actually has higher status than them, or what these women look for, they see as a high value man.
All right, guys.
You know
Appreciate you. I actually had to on I had the landlord outside. I had to go pay my rent real quick, just in case you guys didn't know what the hell was going on. Appreciate my boy Killer Kawabo for hosting, man.
I just had to break down a little extra stuff with Vivica. I had to break down a little extra stuff with her.
I want to read some of the comments before I get right into the other video real quick. Deacon says 100% sisterhood shit. Mm-hmm. That's what we're dealing with, and that sisterhood is in alignment to the likes of the KKK. Okay. Mr. Goodbread says perfect example of low value women thinking because they can sleep with an alpha male don't mean you a high value female. Great example. That's what Mr. Kevin Samuels says that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll have sex with you, they'll deal with you, but as soon as you start causing problems in their lives, it's over with.
Yep.
Hence what she just said. oh, we shouldn't have just went public too fast and this and that. That wasn't his choice. That was your choice
Mm-hmm.
because of your lifestyle.
And I'm pretty sure she had an attitude problem as well.
Absolutely. Come on, man. We can see how she talks on the fucking talk shows and
Exactly.
shit. Alpha
Exactly.
males will sleep with you, but we not gonna commit to you,
Oh
just
yeah.
like we just explained. Appreciate you, Mr. Goodbread. He says,
Yeah,
great
appreciate
content
it.
I saw. Uh, Deacon, if she wasn't pretty when she was young, we would never know who she is. Her mindset is pathetic and low budget. And
Absolutely
take
right.
notes, guys. Don't take notes at the woman you want in this woman. Take notes at the woman that you should not deal with. Stay away
Mhm.
from these kind of women.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Mr. Goodbread show facts, killer. She really don't need to follow anybody. But you in social media is all about follow the leader.
Yep.
When
Exactly.
right on the nail. I don't have to break nothing else down.
For real. Because I know personally, I know like people. Some of my guy friends who are married. I'm friends with their wives on social media. I never see them posting a damn thing. I be forgetting they on social media because they actually respect. I'm pretty sure their husbands created the. I mean, they probably did it by themselves to show respect to their husband, but I'm pretty sure at least their husbands laid down with some type of line like, "I don't want you exposing all this type of stuff."
Come on now. Now, guys, this next video we're gonna watch. This is like an Oprah excerpt. She has different categories of shows. This one is called The Biggest Regret. Okay, Vivica Fox actually got on that show. Okay, and no, it's actually called Where Are They Now? And one of the titles is The Biggest Regrets of Vivica A. Fox's Life. And I want y'all to understand and see the language and see how she explains things and align it with what Kevin Samuels, not just him, but a lot of content creators like myself, Killer, Mr. Goodbread, etc., Fresh and Fit, you name it. All of us say the same thing about these modern women. They hit the wall, they regret it, and then find 100,000 excuses on, okay, you know what? It's okay though. Everything's fine because this, because of that, etc. Let's get right on into this video real quick. You know what to do, Killer. Stop me at any moment, bro.
Word.
I had read that you really have a great relationship with your nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Do you ever miss being a mother?
Of course.
Really?
If that's the biggest regret of my life that I have was that I
You can't ask her, do you miss being you've never been a mother. She never
Right.
had kids.
I was just about to say.
It's
I was like,
okay.
damn,
Like,
did you have
stop.
some children?
We're not
I was,
finna play. We listen to everything over here, bro. We don't complicate common
I
sense.
was really thinking like, wait a minute, she had children. Did one of them die or something? Like, what the fuck? Like,
No, she never had kids.
that's
Cut it
crazy.
out.
Relationship with
Unless we don't know about no abortions,
your
and
nieces and nephews.
you know how that go with black women.
Right, right. Yep.
You know how that go.
yes.
Do you ever miss being a mother?
Of course.
Really?
If that's the biggest regret of my life that I have was that I didn't have a child. But
If that's the biggest regret of my life that I have is that I didn't have a child. Don't that sound like Kevin Samuels language?
yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I think Oprah worded it the way she worded it purposely when she asked when she asked do you miss being a mother, because what she was trying to say underlining thing was, do you think that you missed being a mother, that you missed the chance of being a mother? And that's what
Okay.
I was talking about. She's like, that's what
It could have been.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a good godmother.
Really?
Oh, yeah. My life that I have was that I didn't have a child, but I'm a good godmother.
Really?
Oh yeah, I bring the best gifts and throw the best parties. If that's the one thing that that I have a regret about, it would be that I didn't have a child.
Really?
Yes.
hmm
I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah.
Cut it out. You did. We know female nature, and notice she said that I'm a good godmother. That's what she's clutching on to, because the fact that her eggs are frozen, she can't have any freaking kids anymore. She probably don't want kids anymore, but she does want a high value man
Yep.
to meet her at her level. You know what I'm saying? She wants that, but she can't get any of that. So what does she hold on to? Her grandchildren, her nieces and nephews.
Yep.
And this is what these modern women who hit the wall do. They watch the kids, they watch the babies, they throw the parties, they bring the gifts. That's
Mm-hmm.
all they living for. But deep down they be depressed while they sipping their wine, kicking back. They want a child. They really
Exactly.
do. Shout out to Stephen T. Y'all do what he as he says, okay, and subscribe and share that YouTube channel.
Yes,
It's
sir.
your boy,
And
Mr. OKL.
if you're new, please give a like to this video. We much appreciate that. Let everybody know. Let everybody know what we out here. And we out here talking about this
Facts.
stuff.
Deacon Dave says, I wonder if her godchildren would say that she is a good mother. And that's a good
Mm.
question, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
See, a lot modern women think because they, give gifts or, they look at what she bragged about. Let's kind of run it back.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
of my life that I have was that, of course,
Relationship with your niece.
if that's
Do you
yes,
ever miss being a mother?
of course.
Really?
If that's the biggest regret of my life that I have was that I didn't have a child, but I'm a good godmother.
Really?
Oh yeah, I bring the best gifts and throw the best parties.
I'm a good godmother. I bring the best gifts and throw the best parties. Women think just because they do that, that just makes them a great person. It's
Right.
almost like when you got your single mothers every birthday, they matching Gucci outfits with their kids, and then
Right.
when the kid grow up, they like, oh, all the shit I did for you, every birthday
Mm-hmm.
was there, mama was there, like you. That's okay, like it's a
They
nice
want.
gift, but that's not a part of raising that child.
Mm-hmm. They want that bragging rights. They want them bragging rights. So when the kid gets older, and if he does something that's great, like becomes a football star or a hip hop artist, something like that, they could be like, "Yeah, I did that. That was me." They want them
Right.
bragging rights.
Continue.
If that's the one thing that I have a regret about, that would be that I didn't have a child.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. I'll never forget seeing Hallie on the red carpet, and she just had Nala. And I said, wow, she's so beautiful. She said, Vivica, if I knew then what I know now, I would have had 5 of them. And she says, the joy that I see in her eyes is just like no other high that I've ever experienced. So I don't get to see my eye in a child. And I think that's something that I'll miss.
So your grandchildren and your nieces and nephews, yeah, you love them, you bring them gifts and all that shit, but you don't see yourself in them, which is what the number one desire of a woman is, to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's to have that clone that comes out of them.
Yep.
That's the missing piece of her life right there, and we talk about that all the time. But she wants to sit there and call it karma when Kevin Samuels died, but that's what he was talking about and telling
Exactly.
her.
And he was telling her that women, especially like you said, all these content creators, they say the same thing. No matter how strong and independent, even if a woman says she don't want a children right now, eventually she gonna be saying, "Damn, I wish I would have had my own child." Every time.
Point blank. Point blank.
What has been, do you think?
That's why they like to babysit other people's children, because they like that feeling anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They like that nurturing feeling. It's like, okay, I can't have children, but I want that desire.
Yep.
But you'll never have that feeling if you don't bear that child.
Exactly.
The greatest lesson living a life in public as a famous person has taught you?
Wow, living as a
Let me let her ask that question again. That's a very important question.
that's something that I'll miss.
What has been, do you think, the greatest lesson living a life in public as a famous person has taught you?
Wow, living as a public persona
Yeah.
has taught me not to take this so seriously. I used to be just so hard on myself. I really did. I would look at my work and I wouldn't enjoy it. I would pick it apart. I'd find all of the things I've done wrong instead of the things that I've done right, the people that I've affected, people that come up to me and sometimes say, your movie or a television show or a
couldn't even
moment that
hear
you
it,
had,
right?
I
You couldn't
couldn't
receive
even
it.
receive it
Yeah.
because I was on that treadmill of success.
A woman's desire is not reciprocation to a man's desire. A man wants to be successful and recognized for his work. A woman wants to marry a man and have children with him. She didn't give a shit about how much people came up to her and said, "You're this and you're that." A woman's success
Exactly.
is not it's not measured upon how much she can produce for herself, because that's all they can do. They can't produce for the world like how men does.
Exactly.
So their superpower is producing children.
Hmm.
That's one thing they got on us. So ain't no real production in a woman that's like herself.
Right.
That's why he says buy a dog and die alone. That's why she felt like she's a leftover woman, because there's no production coming out of a successful movie star who's
Hmm.
single, 67, I'm sorry, 57, almost 60, plastic surgery, trying to look young, and think somebody want to marry her, and she's still in love with a man that don't want her.
Exactly. While that man that she's in love with is what? He's a business mogul, several different TV shows running at the same time, making millions upon millions of dollars.
Who you gonna pick, her or a 25-year-old, 21-year-old
Hmm.
that don't got plastic surgery, that didn't go through a divorce, that ain't no fucking movie star, and that look way better than her, and that can bear children? Who is 50 Cent gonna choose, her or that one?
Exactly.
But let me guess though, if me saying this right now, I'm gonna have some type of karma coming back. If I go outside today right now, killer, and I trip over and sprain my ankle, that's bad karma.
Because you spoke the truth about a black woman. That is the proof is in the pudding. We're seeing it in our life right now. It's
Say what,
ridiculous.
fam?
It's ridiculous.
So as y'all know, we don't, do you have any closing statements, Killer Quabo, before we get up out of here?
Oh man, I don't know what to say, bro. Man, especially black man, just focus on creating your worth, bro. Like these women nowadays, these modern women, they just gonna shame you and say that you're uneducated, you're not doing well, you're doing all this crap. Let them let them be themselves and let them die alone. We as men, we will eventually, especially if you work on yourself to the best of your ability, you're gonna have women coming to you. No matter what capacity, you'll find somebody. But a woman who doesn't catch anything by in her early 20s, if she don't catch anything by early 20s, it's over for her. And like I said, there's evidence everywhere. You will see in every type of woman. Most of these women nowadays, especially around our grandmother's age, 50s and 60s, a lot of them are unmarried, and it's ridiculous.
We don't make it up, guys. They expose themselves, okay?
Yeah.
They definitely do expose themselves. And I found it offensive that this woman, who is the pure example of the epitome of what Kevin
Mhm.
Samuels talks about. She is like, if you want to know what he talks about, just look at her life story. Look at her
Exactly.
right now. She is the definition of buy a cat, buy a dog, die alone. Nobody wants you. Your eggs are frozen. And I'm
Hmm.
not lying. This is a biological thing. I
Right.
found it very offensive that this kind of woman would sit there and say it's karma that Kevin Samuels passed away. See, when Kevin Samuel says buy a dog and die alone or buy a cat and die alone, he's not wishing death on you. What he's
Hmm.
telling you is that you are going to be single in your death, which is why one of the main things he said is that if you go back in the days, you'd see families buried next to each other, husband and wife. They had the tombstones next to each other. Today, there's mothers and children next to each other. He says that for a reason. He didn't want you guys to die. Kevin Samuels actually died from health issues, et cetera, et cetera. We still got to extract that. But
Hmm.
why would somebody sit there and laugh at that and not understand when he said die alone? What he meant was your standards are so high that you'll never reach them, and it will, in fact, eventually lead you to be a single mother who's going to die alone, or just a single person who will die alone. That applies for men and women, not just men, but
Exactly.
mainly
And that's
women because
and
of their
oh,
nature.
before I was gonna say
Okay.
before you continue, just to piggyback off that real quick. One thing that what Kevin said, and I remember he said this in one show a long time ago. He said that men overstand that we can die alone. It's just that when we overstand that, we just decide to get out the way. We're not going around saying, "Oh man, women ain't this, women ain't that." If we know we're gonna die alone, then we just do our own thing. We just work on ourselves. We just do what we would just make our own money. We're not focused on trying to deal with these women. If we know we're gonna die alone, men know that. However, women, they're not used to that. They don't know that. They didn't realize this is what men go through. And then when they decide to become like us, now they're realizing that you're gonna die if you try to act like us. Because men, we die alone a lot of the time.
Right, but we have a history of dying alone. Men went to war and they died alone. They didn't die with their children and their wives. It's the
Exactly.
freedoms that women have today is based off men dying alone. Women die alone in misery. You leave a man in the jungle, he gonna learn how he gonna build something. You leave a woman in the jungle, she's going to die alone in misery.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, but 90% of them. Guys, we have reached the conclusion of the show. It's been a good one. It's been a very good one. Been a very good one. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to Killer Kawabo's page. Did you let him know your page, Killer?
No. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page, Men Operating in Reality. That's also my Instagram, Men Operating in Reality. Make sure you go sub there and check out. I'm working on putting consistent videos.
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, if y'all haven't checked it out, Killer Kawabo did a review on an exclusive video that I didn't put out. Actually, he's the only one that has that. Very good breakdown on the modern woman. Y'all check that one out. I did an interview with the woman and he broke it down. So I enjoyed it dearly. So I suggest y'all go ahead and skate onto his channel, subscribe to him, and check that video out as well. As y'all know, Mr. OKL, Okay, Let's Talk TV on Instagram. Y'all go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification button. Y'all follow me on the Instagram and stay tuned because we will be coming back at y'all with more of this content. And we definitely do appreciate you guys. Stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
Don't go nowhere.